A lot of people think that motivation comes first, then comes confidence, but that was not my experience at all. What actually happened was the more I used motivation to take action, the more respect I gained for myself. Not in a motivational quote sort of way like feel good, but the way I treated my body, the way I treated my time, the way I treated my space. When I started to have more respect for those things, that's what changed everything. And I want to talk about what actually changed when I started respecting myself. All right, so first things first is a little bit advanced, but maybe not. So the key indicator was I stopped negotiating with myself. Before, I was the guy that watched motivational content and motivational clips for years now. I would say like 10 years. I've been watching motivational compilations on YouTube and getting all fired up, making like a little bit of change, and then it would just fall off because the same standards, all the stuff I've talked about in the other videos, all that other stuff started creeping back up because I wasn't handling the problem in and of itself, which is my belief system and my belief structure. But I've talked about that already. But I want to talk about negotiations, okay? And negotiating with yourself. It's ridiculous and it happens all the time, okay? So at this point, I've completed the 75 hard program at least 4 times, okay? And still to this day, I just want to emphasize this because it's important. Yesterday, okay, I went to the gym. I had to go do cardio. I sat in the parking lot for 10 to 15 minutes trying actively, my subconscious actively trying to talk me out of doing it. It's more insidious, okay? It comes in the form of reasoning. It comes in the form of, oh, well, this was it for me. Man, there's a lot of stuff you need to do at the office. You should just cut to the office and get some work done. Now, can I do cardio and still go get the work done? Yes. So what are we really talking about? Why am I going to listen to that? Okay, it's actively happening. I'm in my car and this is happening, okay? A lot of people think that once you get past a certain point, like you're there, like you're just locked in. And I've heard other people say about me in the past, like friends and family and coworkers, like, oh, you're just so fired up. Like you're just so disciplined and you're just so this and you're just so that. And I am not, okay? By default, I'm one of the laziest people that could possibly be, okay? The differentiator and where everything changed for me was all of those thoughts can be there and you can still take action anyway. I know this is like Captain Obvious stuff here, but you really, for the people that are struggling, clearly you need to hear this, okay? You can absolutely put your non-negotiables in place for the day, okay? And what's going to happen is the more you follow through with that, the more, you're putting deposits into your piggy bank, okay? So let's look at this like deposits and withdrawals. Every time you do what you say you're going to do, that's a deposit. Every time you don't do what you said you were going to do, withdrawal. Every time you eat something you're not supposed to eat, withdrawal. Every time you do something other than what you're supposed to be doing, withdrawal. So let's make it transactional. Let's talk about deposits. Every time you follow through on what you said you were going to do, deposit. Every time you eat clean like you said you would, deposit. Every time you read that book and you said you tried to talk yourself out of it, deposit. And the more deposits you can make, that's what's going to equal the win for the day. Okay, so key, look, you have to stop negotiating with yourself. You know why? Because you are the person, you and your subconscious, you are the person you spend the most time with. Who do you think is more likely to smooth talk you out of doing something you know you should be doing? A friend or family member or you? You know all of your key touching points. It's so crazy to even talk about this because what we're talking about is the subconscious and the conscious mind. So your conscious mind has these goals and they have these things they want to do, and your subconscious mind is your belief structure and your belief system behind all that is actively trying to talk you out of doing that stuff. Because we still have our old hardwiring. We are still trying to protect ourselves from doing stuff that is unsafe. Not unsafe, but let me use a different word. Uncomfortable, unknown, anything. Our subconscious brain is trying to keep us safe and in our comfort zone. And where we fight back is actively knowing that and having our non-negotiables and operating anyway, okay? Seems obvious, but it has to be stated because you are so capable of smooth talking your way out of doing what you're supposed to do in the form of reasoning and negotiations. So be mindful of that. Whatever your list is for that day, your non-negotiables, that's the stuff that you do, even with the voice in the back of your head that's saying, oh man, take a break, bro. Take it easy. What are you trying to prove? You've already done this and that. Like, you're awesome, dude. Like, that's all noise. If it is trying to talk you out of doing something you're supposed to be doing, that's the heckler. So you got to face that, okay? You got to turn around and say, hey, look, bro, I hear you, or gal, I hear you, but I'm going to do this anyway. And that what happens is that voice It loses its power. Right now for you, if you're listening to this and you're struggling with it, your voice is pretty powerful. It must be. But the more you stop listening to it, the quieter it gets. It never goes away. Okay, I'm going to end the suspense for you. It never goes away. That voice of doubt, that voice that's trying to tell you not to do the thing that you need to do because it's uncomfortable and you want to stay in your comfort zone. Like, bro, get out of there. Get out of there. It is quicksand. It is quicksand. It is slowly but surely killing you, your potential, and everything that you're capable of. Okay? Now, what happened when I stopped negotiating with myself? I started treating everything in my life like it mattered. I know I talked about this in another video. I started dressing better when I was just going to the grocery store or sitting around the house. I started to view food as not a pleasure thing or something that I get a rush from, but something that is fuel. Okay? So look, again, I know this is very boring stuff, okay? But there are ways you can have healthy food options and make them as good as they possibly can be. I'm not going to get into recipes with you. You're more than capable of searching healthy foods and how to make those more appetizing and more appealing. The only thing I can tell you is when you start with, okay, let's have the motivation, but let's use that motivation to actually take the action, okay? And the word motivation, there's motive and there's the ation. The last part is action. It's got to come from, I'm no scholar, but it's got to come from the root word of action. Motivation, motive to take action. Without the action part, none of this matters. After you take the action, you start to build the confidence over time. And as you start to build confidence in yourself, you have more respect for yourself and you're more aware of the decisions that you make as to whether or not it's in your best interest or whether or not you're going to regret that later. Now, look, I am not here to say you can never have fun, you can never have that cookie, you can never have those sweets. Matter of fact, I'm undoing a lot of damage from Halloween because your boy likes Reese's peanut butter cups, okay? So it's about giving yourself grace too. We don't expect perfection here. We're driving for excellence. We are trying to do something to improve our life over the long term, or at least instill habits and new wiring systems in our bodies and in our minds that no longer let us go back to our old self entirely. That's where mindfulness is always key. That's where being aware of what you're doing is always going to be the difference maker. And that's where you can stop the negotiation with yourself and say, hey, look, no, do I really want to eat this thing? Or am I just trying to get this quick hit of dopamine from having this thing I'm not supposed to have that I'm going to regret later, that ultimately erodes my self-confidence and where I'm trying to go in life? So it's again, I know it's all very confusing, especially when your brain is actively the person that's trying to mess you over, or the thing that's trying to mess you over or sabotage your success. And that's also where the belief system and the belief structure comes in too, from one of the videos I dropped before this. By fixing your belief structure and knowing what you're deserving of and putting in the work, it's going to build a firmer foundation from which you can operate. So there's that. Now, the other thing that's more important, or not more important, but something that I realized too, was as my self-respect went up for myself, that changed how people around me treated me and operated. I used to do this with other people. I used to do this with people that I followed. Oh man, that guy's just different, man. That guy's just got it. They got something different than me. No, they don't. They don't. Anytime you try to say, oh, that person just more fired up, they're more motivated, they have something I don't have, you are giving yourself a hall pass. You're giving yourself a bailout. You're giving yourself an excuse as though, oh, this is not possible for me. We are all capable of the same things in terms of what I'm talking about. Building your belief structure, operating with motivation, turning motivation into action, and overall action, making you feel better about the person you are, therefore increasing your confidence, therefore increasing the amount of love and respect that you have for yourself, and that positively influences your decision making. Now, I know all this might sound daunting, but it's simple, okay? It does not have to be, oh my God, I have to go hit the gym 7 days a week. You just have to do something other than what you're doing right now. You have to add something into your life that is going to help you with the things with the aforementioned things, okay? I'm not going to dictate what that is for you. You know what you need to do. You know what you're not doing. Start doing those things. Start implementing at least one non-negotiable thing in your calendar. And again, I'm not the one to dictate what that is for you. You know you better than you do. Okay, you know what you need to do to operate. You know what you need to change in your life. The key indicator is going to be putting that in writing as one non-negotiable per day, and it could change from day to day. Okay, so again, I want to end this video. First of all, thank you for watching. I really do mean that. If you'd consider liking, subscribing, that would be amazing. That'd be dope. I'm trying to positively impact as many people as I can. I feel like this is a calling. I feel like this is not even something that I'm doing for myself. I feel like I've been told, okay, I've been instructed by my higher power and by Jesus Christ, by God, that I am here to share a message, and I'm here to help other people along this journey and help them get out of the pitfalls faster than I was able to on my own, and help them something. If this positively impacts one person, that's great, but I digress. I want to get to this point. You are worth it, okay? The change that you're looking for in your life, you are worthy of it. You are deserving of it, okay? And I think these blessings, I know all this stuff is waiting for you, okay? But it needs you. It needs your help, okay? It's not, God is not going to drop things in your lap, okay? You are worth the effort. You are deserving of what you're capable of and the blessings that are going to come your way when you start to positively impact your life. And therefore, by default, let me tell you something else. You're going to positively impact people around you. This isn't just about you. When you start to chase the best version of yourself, everybody around you notices, your family members, your friends. There might be some hecklers like, oh, why are you doing this thing? Like, that's the noise. That's hand to the face. Old school. I just dated myself there. Hands to the face. Get out of here. Okay. So I noticed like family members, friends making different decisions. See them out walking when they normally wouldn't walk. I see them going to the gym more often than they usually did. And they would credit me for that. And it's like, look, I just gave you the words. The action is all up to you. I can't walk to the gym for you. I can't dive into your fridge and take the junk food out. The only thing I can tell you is that you are worthy and deserving of a better life. And that all boils down to the decisions that you make on a day-to-day basis. So hopefully this video helps somebody. Obviously more will be coming. I know I missed a week last week. I had a family emergency. Sorry about that. But I'm going to be recording a bunch of videos this week. That way I have stuff to drop weekly as we go into the holiday season. So that's it. Much love.